Welcome to the tips and tricks for Ducks revision 2 exercise. I won't be going through the entire exercise given I've already done a lot of the work in revision 1 video, if you'd like to refer to that. Let's get straight into it, into the loan schedule. We have ranges for the table, 10,000 to 50,000, and also for the interest rate 4 to 7%. I've already done my one variable data table here, which you can see. And for my two variable data table, I'm having to first calculate my payment formula, which is in this cell here. So picking up there. And my IPMT, which I won't need for the two variable data table, but there it is there if you'd like to pause and have a look if needed. So first step is to put in my ranges here, which is 4 to 7%, 10 to 50,000 in the column. Second step is to link to the formula, so I'm linking to my D12 formula for the payment. Third step is to highlight the whole table. Data, what if, data table. Row input cell, that's to do with my row. My row is the interest rate, therefore I will be picking up the interest rate. My column is the principal value, and it is linking to cell B5. Doesn't matter if it's negative or positive at this stage. Click OK, and there we have it. Highlight. And format accordingly. Task 2 asks us to do a VLOOKUP to find the interest for the current or 8th month from the one variable table based on original raw data. Here is my one variable table. I've already populated the amounts, the IPMT amounts. VLOOKUP equals VLOOKUP, and we're to look up the value 8, which is the 8th month. The table array is going to be here. That's my table. Column index is going to be 1, 2, and I want an exact range lookup, so that's 0. Enter. Task 3 asks us to link a range in the spreadsheet to a Microsoft Word document. It's actually asking us to select the Microsoft Excel worksheet object. So we're to go into Microsoft Word and paste it as a Excel worksheet object. Here's how we do it. It's asking for D6 to H7. I'm going to do actually D5 to H7. Highlight my range, right click, copy. I've already got a Word document open, just a blank document. Now here I can paste, right click, I could paste the table like formatted in Excel or destination style, which is Word. When I do these two, this is just actually an embedded table, so it's not linked to anything. What it's actually asking us to do is to link with a Microsoft Excel object, and to go there we go to the paste, and then paste special is actually underneath that. See that? So home menu, paste, and then paste special. We're to select paste link Microsoft Excel worksheet object, select OK. Now it's given me the data, and if I'm in Excel and change this, okay, I go to my table. It hasn't updated, but right click, update link. And there you see, it's a linked table, which just has to be refreshed. Task 4 involves us using if statements to determine pay. Basically, we're to determine the regular amount of pay if the hours equal to or less than 35. We multiply the hours worked by the regular rate. If the hours are more than 35, then we have to multiply just those hours above 35 by the time and a half rate. Let's go to the payroll sheet. I've put in the actual formulas here that you can see, so if you want to pause, you can have a look at them. Notice the brackets in the time and a half, will come to that. It's quite important. So let's start. The regular pay equals if C12, which is the hours, is smaller than or equal 35 hours, then we will multiply the hours worked times the regular rate. Value, if false, will be simply 35 hours times the regular rate. Let's put in our, by pressing F4, our absolute references. There. Time and a half. This is if the value in C12 hours worked is greater than 35, then we need to calculate those hours. So that's going to be hours worked less 35, brackets, times B6, the overtime rate. And if there's no hours over 35, the value is going to be 0. Enter. So if I put in 36, that's 1 hour over rate, and I'm getting $30 at the overtime rate, which is good. Notice though that I've got the brackets in there. If I don't do the brackets, then Excel will give a different answer because it's going C12 minus 35 times B6. And we always do brackets, if you remember BODMAS, brackets before multiplication, before anything, before division, before subtraction. So BODMAS, brackets first. While we're here, let's quickly do the absolute references where we need to. So absolute there, pressing F4, and that will be it. Gross pay is easy. That's going to just be our regular pay plus time and a half pay. Tax, again, that's pretty easy, is our gross pay times the tax rate, and that will also be absolute reference. Net pay will be our gross pay less tax. Okay, once I'm at this stage, highlight the cells, right click, copy, right click, paste special formula. Now, summing up, auto sum, all the way across. Now, what are the items that are pay? They're all of those, not the hours worked. That's not a $ pay rate. And there we have it. And you'll notice actually that I needed to do the brackets. As I said, I actually pulled those down without putting the brackets in. So putting the brackets in there, right click, copy, special formula. That's better. Task 5 asks us to do some data validation in the hours work column. First step is to highlight the range, which is in the hours work column. Data validation, input message, which we're asked to put in, overtime if hours over 35, setting, instead of allowing any value, we'll do a decimal between the values of 0 and 60. Click OK. So when we go into one of these cells, it's displaying overtime if hours over 35. If I select 61, it's not going to allow me to do it. If I was to select 60, that would be okay. all done. Task 6 asks us to insert a comment in cell C9. So go to C9, right click, insert comment on the menu, and insert text week ending 17th of the 3rd, 2017. We're also to delete a comment, so going up to the comment in B4, if we right click, delete comment. Task 7 asks us to record a macro on the loan sheet. So in the loan sheet, we then go developer in the main menu, record a macro. It does ask or suggest to use the name date, but if you're like my Excel, you may have already used that name or it could be in conflict. If that is the case, just put m_date and that should work. We now go back to developer and we are starting our macro now. First thing we want to do is go to cell D1 and put in today's date. And in E1, using the formula equals today. Back to developer, stop macro. Now if I delete what I've inputted there and do Control-Shift-D, it should actually run the macro. And there it is. We're also asked to run the macro on the payroll sheet just to test it. So payroll sheet, Control-Shift-D, and it works. We're also asked to edit the macro. So remember, we go to the developer menu and Visual Basics editor, or be in the modules, and we're asked to say, instead of today's date, I'm going to put something else in with date today. So we find today's date, today. Save that. And get out of the editor. Control-Shift-D to run and date today. Task 8 is creation of a pivot table in the payroll sheet. So highlighting the area of the table, the whole table. Insert pivot table, select OK, and we're asked to put the employee number in the filter. The name is to go in column A, or that's the row, and then selecting regular, I think it was hours worked as well actually. Hours worked, regular, time and a half. Once we're there, we want to wrap text. So to do that, we just make the row on the heading a bit wider, and then highlighting the rows, home, wrap text. Once we've hit wrap text, should be able to make it a bit smaller. And to get rid of the grand totals, we can use design, grand totals off for rows and columns. That gets rid of the grand totals. And using currency there. And we'll just name that worksheet pivot. Click rename pivot.
Task A9 asks us to protect cells in A5 to B9 in the loan sheet. So in the loan sheet, first of all, we go and highlight all cells by going to the corner there. And once we've got all cells there, we're going to right click Format Cells Protection. And we're going to click Off. So that means that all cells are not protected at this stage. Then we'll go back and select the ones that exactly we want to protect. So that's these ones here. Right click, Format Cell, and we'll select Lock there. Okay. In the review ribbon, we can protect and share workbook. We can also go down here, right click, Protect Sheet. Same thing with A, B, C. Okay. Confirm password. So now if I try and enter something in here, it won't allow me. But if we go over to a unprotected cell, we can.
Task 10 asks us to create a template from the payroll worksheet. So on the payroll worksheet, right click, I'm going to create a new file just for the worksheet. So create a copy, selecting new book. Once we're there, because it's a template, we'll get rid of the user information. And what I would do, I would actually do cell styles input, so the user knows that it's an input cell. You could also protect the formulas here, which would stop users from ruining the formulas. Then it's just File, Save. And we're saving as a template, so save as an Excel template, and we'll call it Pay.